What's up? This record is a real 90s time capsule. This is, you know what? I'm not even going to show you what this is yet, okay? Back in, like, 1995, I'd say 95 exactly, okay? I was, you know, what would you say, interning at the college radio station hip-hop show? Not quite interning, but whatever you do at college, that's just like interning. And I was talking to the DJ, and I was going to go on a trip to Philly to get some records, which is something I did like semi-regularly back then. I was going to college in South Jersey, so you know, you just go over the bridge, it'd be like half an hour, and there'd be all the cool record stores. And he's telling me about this record. He's like, oh, if you're going to Philly to get records, you got to get this. So he's telling me about this record, which is reggae. And, you know, again, this was the 90s, so I was feeling some reggae. That was definitely coming to hip-hop culture, and, you know, I had a bunch of, you know, I still got a whole bunch of reggae cassette singles and albums and stuff. But this was reggae, but pure hip-hop at the same time, by a relatively unknown artist at the time, although it wasn't his debut or anything. But the selling point really was that it featured every Wu-Tang beat. And you have to remember, again, this is like 1995, so every Wu-Tang beat was like, you know, everything on 36 Chambers, Raekwon's first album, like, everything was just killer classic material. This is, you know, after all the weird solo projects and questionable R&B singers and all this other stuff. This was one, it was, you know, Criminology, Ice Cream, Protect Your Neck, Method Man, you know, so it was just all the bangers. This record featured all of them. Alright, so now you may have guessed what I'm talking about, so I'll just show you. It's Bounty Killers, Mama Ivy's Last Son, Wu Mortal Kombat Remix, by Crush Sounds. This is a white label, and an infamous one at that. Okay, now one thing is they got the title wrong. It's actually Miss Ivy Last Son. They switched Miss to Mama, and they've added the possessive S. Now it's funny, I went online to look up what Bounty Killer album this was on before I did this video, and it's, I'm sorry, I've already forgotten what it is, but that's besides the point. What's funny is, when you look it up, there's several reviews referring to this as sort of a touching, you know, fond remembrance or dedication or ode to Bounty Killer's mother. That's not what the song is at all. It's just pure violent threats, basically. You know, it's all about disrespect, Mama Ivy Last Son, get a shotgun in your face. You know, it's not exactly a direct quote, but your life gone disappear, come face me shotgun, you know, load me M16. It's pure crazy, violent hypeness, and there's a lot of remixes of this tune, because there's a definite need for remixes of this tune. Because the original, you know, as dope lyrically as it is, and as well as Bounty Killer is flexing his styles and, you know, doing all these different kinds of things, instrumentally, first of all, it sounds kind of low budget and chintzy. But more importantly, he's singing the hook to the tune of We Wish You a Merry Little Christmas. And during that part, they actually play We Wish You a Little Merry Christmas. And it's on like these little, like, you know, Christmas xylophone notes, like ding ding a ding a ding 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 a ding a ding ding. So there was a definite need for a serious hardcore remix, and one involving every single ill Wu-Tang beat is exactly that. And that's one reason why I call this a time capsule, because this really set off the mashup trend that came to follow, including, quite literally and directly, there was a lot more reggae artists that would mash up instrumental beats, including others who went over Wu-Tang beats, I guess trying to be that guy who did reggae over Wu-Tang. That was me! But no, of course, Bounty Killer was the first. This is the real one. But then other artists and other genres did it too, and it sort of became a fad for a while. And obviously it still happens, but this is the one that really set it off. And this isn't necessarily the first example ever. I mean, Ice Cube's Jackin' for Beats, of course, came out like, you know, 92, 91, I don't know when it came out. It came out years before. But this is the one that really made it, you know, made it a trend, came out completely illegally. It wasn't on a major label, it was just on a white label, you know, and just said, wow, we're going to take all the hottest beats, mash them up onto an instrumental, and it was fucking sick. And I'm going to play some clips, but obviously you really have to hear the whole thing to appreciate the whole thing properly. Okay, then it features the instrumental, so if you're really just anti the reggae element, then, you know, you got the pure straight hip-hop beats, and it's got the acapella, so you can remix it yourself, presumably, and certainly there were other remixes besides this 12-inch. The B-side, again, is by Crush Sounds, and I don't even know who Crush Sounds is exactly. There's a lot of white label 12-inches that came out around this time and a few years later, a lot of them on AV8 Records, credited to Crush Sounds. I don't know if that's actually an artist who kind of calls himself Crush Sounds, or if that's just a general pseudonym for, you know, whoever was kind of doing illegal mashups in the studio or what it was. But anyway, there's a bunch of Crush Sound stuff, and he did both mixes, or they did both mixes, or she did both remixes. And the other one here is the EPMD remix, and this is predictably basically all the best EPMD instrumentals mashed up into short segments. And then you also get the instrumental of that. This is cool, and obviously it's got some great classic beats, but really, even by the B-side, you know, the novelty had worn off. I mean, it's a dope record, but a large part of it is Bounty Killer's style and his lyrics. A large part of it is, of course, the classic beats, and a large part of it is the novelty. And so it was already down to 2/3 by the time they came up with the B-side remix, because the novelty was gone, as well as anybody else who could, you know, follow the trend later. So it's still dope, though. It's still cool. I'll play some clips of both. You know, it is EPMD classic production, and of course the same lyrics. And this is what really sort of made a name for Bounty Killer for a while. This is what kind of got him into doing records with Special Ed, and got him more major label deals, and, you know, kind of broke him out into the mainstream. And I'm pretty sure this song must be on his greatest hits album that he came out with a few years ago. Again, he had been around before. He'd been around for years before, but I think this is really what broke him. And it's sort of a cool, you know, again, purely underground, white label, mixtape fodder kind of track that everybody was feeling. Most people really couldn't get their hands on it because it's only on white label 12-inch, and you couldn't go pick it up at Sam Goodies. So it had a little bit of that urban legend, which you couldn't do these days and age on the internet, but you could back then. So all those reasons and more kind of make it a real time capsule, as I say. So I'm going to play some clips right now. Bounty Killer, Miss Ivy Last Son, proper title, or Mama Ivy's Last Son, as it is here. Woo, Mortal Kombat remix. Till next time, peace out.
No big deal, no big deal. God keeps heaven gonna feel. Don't like you heaven and just must see they going to steal. Got a lot to chop down them shield. So, boy, run, come up in on me magnum, boy. Stand up in front me shotgun, boy. Disrespect me side the last son. And you lie, I disappear. Just, I no want them honey. I no tell them if them this water off, man, them in a problem. And me go on, now feel them. Why? This man come up foot outside and shoot and kill. Never stop till now. This man come out and see you and from Nannyville. Never stop till. This man come out and back to one warrior hill. What was the bill? One love is bill. Let me say why. Run come up in a me magnum, why? Stand up in front me shotgun, why? Disrespect me side the last son. And the blood, I disappear. See it, and the one me no want them. No big deal, God keeps heaven gonna feel. All like you heaven and just must see they going to steal. Got a lot to chop down them shield. So, boy, run, come up in a me magnum, boy. Stand up in front me shotgun, boy. Disrespect me side the last son. And you lie, I disappear. Just what? I no want them honey. I no tell them if them this water off, man, them in a problem. And me go on, now spear them. Why? Talk until this a gun in a me on the hill. And stop you, boy. This man come up foot outside and shoot and kill. Never stop till now. This man come out and see you and from Nannyville. Never stop till. This man come out and back to one warrior hill. What was my bill? My love is bill. Let me say why. Run come up in a me magnum, boy. Stand up in front me shotgun, boy. Disrespect me side the last son. And the blood, I disappear. See